Just for the heck of it, you want to put the pump on full blast and plug it in. So
sure you're ready for this?
No, I'm not. Go ahead. It's all right. That's a lot more volume, you know?
Oh yeah.
All right, that's seen enough. It's Saturday morning here in Northeast Ohio. A little chilly this morning. A little bit of frost on my windshield this morning when I was getting ready to drive in. Dean and I met at the diner, had some breakfast, and now we need to clean bourbon barrels. We need to wash the maple syrup residue off the inside of bourbon barrels for our customer. And then there's some downstream processes in which these barrels will be disassembled. The staves will be used for different things. The hoops will be used for different things. The barrel heads will need to be cleaned up. They can be laser etched in a design that shows off the barrel. The barrels are kind of imperfect, and we need to get them ready so it can be a long-lasting item on somebody's fireplace mantle without warping or bowing or cracking. So we'll also be able to, from this wash process, spray down the inside of a bourbon barrel with hot water, keep and retain that water, and boil it back down into maple syrup. So I'm excited about being able to make maple syrup in November. That's kind of cool. And I hope that this microphone's working. So Dean's filling this tank up with water, hot water. We're going to pump it through and wash bourbon barrels with a CIP and collect the sugar in here. We got a lot of bourbon barrels to wash, Dino. We're cleaning maple syrup out of a bourbon barrel. I've never done this, have you?
No.
We just did one test. It worked out well, but we got to refine it, right, Dean?
Right.
So these are the first ones we're doing. The best part is we get to snack on syrup that leaked out of bourbon barrels all day. And these things are delicious. This is bourbon barrel maple candy. An unintended benefit of aging maple syrup in a bourbon barrel. Tastes delicious. So we got a steam generator. We're going to steam the barrels, then run a CIP. We're getting wet and dirty today. There's no way around it.
Oh yeah.
Steam going here in a second. An electric boiler. And I'm going to flip the switch on. Does it smell like bourbon or maple syrup? I think we're onto something, Dino. Spraying enough that I got water coming out one of these staves, Dean. Check it out. So this is after 2 barrels. Yeah, she's dark. This pressure gauge tells us whether our charcoal filter is being blocked I'm gonna move the pressure gauge to 15. One of the byproducts of making a good quality bourbon barrel aged maple syrup is charcoal. Charcoal. So when you dump bourbon barrels, this is a byproduct. We have drums and drums and drums of this charcoal that is kind of intertwined with maple syrup. It would probably be a really good flavor if somebody, strained a beer through this, or a bourbon, or a whiskey of some sort, or rum. But this is the byproduct of using actual bourbon barrels a single time. And I just wanted to point out that every time we dump barrels, we make a lot of this stuff. If anybody has any ideas on how to use this, these are poplar. This is a bung. So oftentimes when they dump bourbon barrels, they just pound the bung in, and the bungs will get stuck on the inside of the barrels. And when we are cleaning the syrup out, this is a byproduct, is the poplar bungs. So this barrel head's nice and straight. This barrel head's nice and straight. Straight barrel head. Straight barrel head. This one's a warped barrel head. You can see the warp on it. Definitely not straight. Explain how this works. This isn't a digital refractometer, and digital refractometers are measuring the refractive index of water as its baseline. Pure water refracts light at the same angle. So if you've ever been in a swimming pool or in a pond and you stuck your arm in the water and you saw that your arm was bent at an angle, that's a consistent angle in which water will refract light. So this meter uses that consistent angle as its baseline, and then anything other than water, which in this case we have maple syrup, we have sugar water. The key to these things is you need a good baseline with water. So I'm going to put some water in it just to make sure it's reading 0. So this is a Misco made in Solon, Ohio. Just turn it on, and the key is to make sure your sample port area is clean. So you take some pure water, just clean this guy up a little bit, and then the really important thing is to make sure that it's dry, because if you have excess water on there, it's going to throw your sample off. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pure water in my meter. Flip the lid down and then hit Brix reading. And it's reading 0.1, so it isn't quite perfect. So I will I'm going to calibrate this. Set to 0. I'm going to tell this machine that it's got some pure water in it. I'm going to just double check myself. It's reading 0. I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to get a reading, because Dean and I have washed 6 barrels in our water, our wash system. So I want to know how much sugar is in 6 barrels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a good sample out of my bath. It's still pretty clear. So yeah, it's still pretty clear. Drops on. There you go. .3, so it's about the sugar consistency of a red maple. Soft maple gives you. So this is like, at this point, sap out of a tree. Not a lot of sugar. got my sample, I got my meter, some water to wipe things off, and then Seafold towels are my favorite thing. I love these things. So I'm gonna grab a sample. It's after our last barrel's been washed. And I'm actually gonna use the Seafold towel as a little bit of a filter. I'm gonna let it drip through the paper towel. So a little bit of a drip, drip. Hit go. 5.6 bricks. So right in here, I've got 71 gallons of 5.6 bricks. Retroengineered sap by cleaning these Buffalo Trace barrels out. So Dean and I cleaned 20 of them. And now we have enough sugar water here to make 50 pounds of maple syrup. What are you doing, Dean?
We are making this water hot.
You know what?
With the steam cleaner.
So you're using steam in this. Is it making the water hotter?
Oh, yes.
Dean, I think by doing this, you qualify, could get a job at Starbucks.
Possible.
I think they do this with coffee, don't they? Like steam milk and stuff?
Yeah, maybe.